Good afternoon and happy Thursday, everyone. It is Scott Wohlers with River Place Capital. It is Thursday, July the 14th, and just want to take a brief moment and discuss what equity markets did last week, where we see markets moving forward from here, and as we discuss the key inflationary data that we got this week, and where we see markets moving from here, and what the inflationary data may cause the Federal Reserve Bank to do at their next meeting in 2 weeks. So last week was a positive week in the equity markets, getting the third quarter off to a positive start with the S&P 500 being up 1.5%. The mid-cap index a little bit behind, but still positive, up 80 basis points or 0.8%. And the small cap index, as measured by the S&P 600, was up 40 basis points or 0.4%. And this was a big week, and you saw markets very muted on Monday and Tuesday going into the report that we got yesterday, and that was the CPI report, which is the Consumer Price Index, which is the inflationary data that the consumer sees on a year-over-year basis. And that number was expected to come in at 8.8%, but it actually came in at 9.1%, the highest we've seen since the early 1980s. And you saw the market initially react very negatively to that, and you saw the Dow down around a little bit over 1% on the day, but throughout the day you continued to see the market rally. And it had people calling me, asking me questions, Scott, why do you think that's happening in the market like this? And with a number this bad that we're seeing. And one of the things is what we may in fact have just seen with that report is the peak of inflation. We may be coming to the top of inflation, and one of the reasons that we at River Place believe that is the commodities in the last 2 weeks have really turned over, and you've seen a 20% pullback in a lot of commodities. Everything from oil, wheat is down, copper is down, hot rolled steel is down. So a lot of the components that go into the goods that are being produced, you're seeing those component prices come down in the last couple of weeks. And remember that this inflationary data it's a lagging indicator. So this is what was happening in June. If you go out and look at gas prices now versus where they were in June, they're down. So a couple of things that are still pushing inflation up are rents and housing and autos are still kind of going up, but some of the other data is coming down. And so that should help us bring inflation down. And that's why you saw the market react the way that it did yesterday. Is remember, the market is looking out forward into the future of where it sees the prospects of the economy being. And if we have indeed seen peak inflation, we may see some rallying off of that. And one of the interesting things that came out from yesterday was with the inflationary data as high as it was, going into it, the Federal Reserve Bank meets in 2 weeks, and everyone in the stock market has it baked in that the Federal Reserve Bank is going to raise rates by 75 basis points, getting their base rate to 2.25%. The goal for the Fed is to get to neutral, which is 3%. But what was interesting that came out yesterday is about halfway through the day, the Federal Reserve released their beige book in the minutes of their last meeting, and you started to see the chances of a 1% or a 100 basis point rate hike in 2 weeks become larger than before. Now, that's what the market is dealing with today, as we got PPI that came in higher than expectations, but is the Fed actually going to raise? And then you also had JP Morgan, the largest bank, miss on earnings today, citing that they moved more capital to loan loss reserves. However, they still do see the consumer very strong, and they can see the balance sheet of businesses stronger than they've been maybe as long as they can remember. So everything is set up to weather the storm if it's a minor storm. So be on the lookout to see the potential for some rallying here, and we believe we have seen peak inflation. So as always, if you have questions about what's going on in the markets, where we think everything's going from here, or how we can help you in any way, feel free to reach out and give us a call. We'd love the opportunity to speak with you. You can call us at 904-346-3460, or as always, check us out online at www.riverplacecapital.com. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everyone. Thank you so much.